Okay, hello and happy Saturday to everybody. It's time once again for Strat-O-Matic Baseball 1966 replay. I'm Spokane Steve. If you like, I got the sound up, hang on. If you like Strat-O-Matic or 60s baseball, please like and subscribe. Today we have the last day on the schedule for June the 15th, 1966, game 581 on the season, and it's the Baltimore Orioles at the Washington Senators. Baltimore, of course, in first place with a 39-19 record. Senators in ninth place now at 25-35. They come in reeling on a 6-game losing streak. This will also be Chapter 3 of the Dick Bosman saga, which is becoming quite the story, although I have a feeling that Chapter 3 is going to be quite different than the first two chapters. What am I talking about? Well, Bosman did not pitch much in 66. You can see this computer-only card, if you can see it. It is a horrible card, and yet in 2 starts, he's 1-0 with a 1.74 ERA. No way that can continue. For the Orioles, Wally Bunker gets the start. He's been the Orioles' worst pitcher. 3-3, but with his 6.35 ERA, not only high, but dead last on the Orioles team. 11 starts. He does have a complete game. 62 1/3 innings of work. The big problem for Bunker is the long ball. He's given up 11 in 62 innings. And greetings to Frank in his game. In Strat-O-Matic, in fact, a close one, extra innings. Baltimore came out on top 4-3. And hello there, Ben, and hi to Blaine. It's happy Saturday that feels like a Sunday. Yeah, yesterday I called Friday Saturday, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but it felt like a Saturday. Today to me feels like a Sunday. I know that sounds crazy. There's no rational explanation for it. There will be a minor trade tomorrow before we go on to the 16th of June. Nothing to get excited about. St. Louis Cardinals will purchase Tony Martinez from the Cleveland Indians. Martinez, a computer-only card who doesn't play much anyway. Let's give you the lineups for the Orioles and we'll get started. The lineup is Luis Aparicio leading off at shortstop. Russ Snyder in center field. This will be familiar to you by now. It's basically the set lineup for the Baltimore Orioles. Frank Robinson in right field hits third. Brooks Robinson at third base hits cleanup. Boog Powell at first. Kurt Blefary in left. Dave Johnson at second. Andy Etchebarren the catcher, and Bunker hitting ninth. Sorry to see Frank Howard not in the lineup for the Senators today. I know we've got a couple of Frank Howard fans here. Before I get started, all I can say is, what a playoff game. I'm going to tell you something. I slept 9 hours last night after back-to-back extra inning nail biters. I was trashed. I'm sure that bottle of wine didn't help. Anyway, no residual effects from that, and I'm happy to report the sore throat is gone. Got a lot of sleep, and I feel basically like myself today. Okay, we're just about ready to get started here. Let me give you the umpires for today's ball game. It's going to be Jerry Neudecker behind the plate, Bill Kinnaman at first, Jim Honachek at second, and Frank Umont down at third. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. You know, Ben, I'll tell you what, for me, Dodgers, Mariners, that would be a win-win series for me. Certainly take the stress element out of it. And of course, a big game for your Brewers this evening, Game 5. The only DS series yet undecided. Brewers and Cubs. That one, I don't know what to make out of that one. Nor do I really know who to root for. I'm kind of for the Brewers for your sake. My sister's a Cubs fan. I guess we'll just let the chips fall where they may. Should be an interesting game. I see both teams are using openers. So it's literally going to be a all hands on deck situation. And welcome into Jeffrey. Boy, they all went through their staffs, didn't they? I tell you, Toronto had to be sitting back loving that. All right, it's 1:32. Jerry Newdecker says play ball. Bosman's ready to roll, and up steps Aparicio to lead off the game. Luis Aparicio hitting .258, 2 homers, 28 RBIs. Here comes Bosman's pitch on a 3-7. It's a ground ball to shortstop. Brinkman scoops it up, throws to Valentine, and we are underway. I think that rest could be a big advantage. Russ Snyder will bat for the Orioles. Snyder at .213, 5 RBIs, no home runs. Bosman into the windup now. It's a 3-4. He flips it the other way to left field. Kirkland drifting under it and makes the catch. The Mariners have an excellent and very deep bullpen, to be sure. I'd have to say they and the Padres probably had the 2 best bullpens this year in the major leagues. Hello, Bill Ivemy. Welcome. How are things in Canada today? It's cooled off in Spokane. It's a cloudy 50 degrees at this point. I think fall has finally fallen. 2 out, nobody on. Here's Frank Robinson in the race for the Triple Crown with a .304 average, a league-leading 18 home runs, and 46 runs batted in. Well, it's still nice enough for Bill to be outside. That's cool. Frank Gilbert's my favorite Mariner. That splitter of his is, yes, flat out nasty, describes it quite well. Bosman into the windup. Here's Robinson on a 1-7. Bangs that high and deep to left. That's going to be over Kirkland's head. And into second with a stand-up double is Robinson. That'll bring up Brooks Robinson with runner in scoring position and 2 down. And Brooks hitting .281. 6 home runs, 40 RBIs. Bosman gets the sign. 6'8" right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. No runs, a hit, 1 left. After half an inning, Baltimore nothing, Washington coming to bat. And with Baltimore playing, I can't help but wonder, where is Franklin? I'm sure he'll be along. Bunker gets loose. Let's go ahead and take a look at Washington's starting lineup. Don Blasingame leads it off at second base. Fred Valentine, believe it or not, playing first base, where he's a 5'30", a good outfielder. And also, there it is, ice cold. Fred Valentine, 4 for his last 40. And in his last 10 games, does not have a single run batted in. It's about as cold as you can get. Jim King in right field hits third. Don Locke in center field. Willie Kirkland will be in left. Frank Howard on the bench today. Ken McMullen at third base bats sixth. Doug Camilli will be the catcher. Eddie Brinkman is at shortstop, and Bosman the pitcher. Here's Bunker now getting ready to go to work. Blasingame steps up to the plate. Wade Blasingame comes in at 250, no homers, 6 RBIs, left-handed batter. Bunker into the windup. Here's the pitch on a 5-12 lefty grounder, second base X. Tough chance for Johnson, 225, ranging to his left. The play is on a 1. It's into right field. Oh, man, that would have been a tough play for anybody. Blasingame hit that hard. That's going to be a base hit. Yeah, here's the man we just spoke of, the ice-cold Fred Valentine. With the defense included, probably their best overall player, Howard their best hitter. I'm not sure about Valentine at first base, however. Valentine hitting .269 on the year. 7 home runs, 19 RBIs. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Bunker out of the stretch is a 1-9 righty. Hard smash to first. Powell goes down to Aparicio for 1. Back to first. 3-6-3 double play. And welcoming in Colin Merritt. How's it going? Just getting underway here. 2 outs, nobody on in the first. Jim King, the batter. King at 254, 9 home runs, 24 RBIs. His 9 home runs leads the club. Bunker's pitch on a 4-5 lefty, swung on and missed, strike 3. And just like that, we are scoreless after an inning. Oh yeah, Ben had a very exciting 1958 game yesterday. Hospital? You're in the hospital? Hold the phones. Or visiting, and hopefully visiting somebody in the hospital. Well, I guess the first question is, are you okay, Colin? I'll be looking for an update there. We move along to the second. Boog Powell will start things off. Powell, the Orioles' leading hitter, batting a robust .344, 15 home runs, 39 RBIs. We might want to get Bosman on the mound. Here's the windup down the pitch. It's a 4-11 left-handed grounder, first base. Is that X or A? I think it's A. Hang on, let me go to the computer. These are hard to read sometimes. 4-11 is a routine grounder to first. Valentine will take it himself, and there's one down. Oh, yikes. Your stomach's a mess. Well, I sure hope they figure it out, Colin. I'm sure I join everyone here in wishing you speedy recovery. One down. Okay, here's Kurt Bluffery. Bluffery at 286, 13 homers, 39 RBIs. Bosman into the windup. That's going to be a 6-5 lefty. Grounder to short X. That's Brinkman. Brinkman into the hole, 228. On a 14, he's there. Plant, strong throw, in time. I beg your pardon, he's a 2E29. That did not come into play. Here's Davey Johnson with 2 down. Johnson hitting 250. 3 home runs, 31 RBIs. Bosman with the windup and the pitch on a 5-7. Base hit up the middle for Johnson. So Johnson aboard with a 1-out single. That'll get Andy Etchebarren to the plate. Etchebarren at 272. 6 home runs, 22 RBIs. Baltimore comes in with 68 home runs as a team. Bosman out to the stretch for the first time. 3-5, called strike 3. And it's only 2 innings, but so far the Dick Bosman miracle is holding up. As Wally Bunker takes the mound for the bottom of the inning. Collins says he just needs a few days in 66. Well, that we can provide. Don Locke leading off the bottom of the second. Excuse me. Locke, it's been a struggle for Locke. He's at 216. He does have 6 home runs, 13 RBIs. Bunker with the windup and the pitch. It's a 3-6. Struck him out. Second K for Wally Bunker. And here's the left fielder, Willie Kirkland. Kirkland just 4 for 33. 2 of the 4 hits home runs. Definitely the definition of an all-or-nothing hitter. Bunker's pitch on a 4-4 lefty. Catcher's card, that'll be Etchebarren. Andy, a 2E6. Here's the play on a 2. It's a pop out to the catcher, and there's 2 away. That'll bring up Ken McMullen, the third baseman. McMullen at 233, 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. Bunker gets the sign. Comes in with a 3-7 righty. Liner to third, single on a 1 only, and it's speared there by Brooks Robinson to retire the side. Not much chance of that one squeaking through. 3 up, 3 down. We're scoreless after 2. Bosman again. Well, I wonder how many starts he made that year. I forget. He made 7. This is his third of 7 starts. He worked 39 innings that year in real life. He had an ERA of, get this, 7.62. Wally Bunker will lead it off. Bunker, a right-handed batter. On a 6-4 right-handed, it's a grounder to short X. Eddie Brinkman will be tested yet again with a 2E29 into the hole. The play on a 10 error range. It's a 6 on a 29. This smells like trouble. Brinkman's throw pulls Valentine off the bag, and that's going to be an error on Eddie Brinkman. Bunker reaches on the error. That's going to bring up Luis Aparicio. Aparicio grounded to his opposite number in the first. Bosman working from the stretch. Here's the pitch on a 4-11 base hit. into right field. They're waving bunker to third, and he'll be in there. And just like that, the Orioles have runners at the corners and nobody out. I don't know about you guys, but I can almost smell it coming. Washington will keep the infield at double play depth early in the game. Russ Snyder, the hitter. Bosman out of the stretch. That's going to be a 3-9 righty. Grounder down to first. Valentine has it. Goes to Brinkman for one. Back to first. 3-6-3 double play. On the play, Bunker scores to make it 1-0. But a big double play turn for Bosman there. That gets Robinson to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Frank Robbie doubled his first time up. Bosman's pitch on a 6-10 right-handed. He lifts it the other way to right. Routine for King, who puts it away. And the Orioles settle for 1. A run on a hit. Nobody left. The run unearned as far as Bosman is concerned. As Bosman continues to mystify. When I said I could see it coming, of course, I meant I really thought this was going to be the inning when Bosman got clocked. Bottom third for Washington, Doug Camilli will start it off. Camilli on the year, 222, just 72 at-bats, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Bunker into the windup. That's a 4-3 right-handed. High fly ball to deep left field. Going back is Bleffery at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Camilli with a home run, and that ties the score. Let's take another look at that one. 4-3 righty, homer to 16. He's got the power. Rolls to 15, and for Camilli, his 3rd home run of the season. Here's Eddie Brinkman, excuse me, hitting .252, 2 homers, 21 RBIs. Bunker into the windup on a 2-8 right-handed, little comebacker to Bunker. Tosses it over to Powell for the first out. That'll bring up the pitcher, Bosman. Whoops, wrong card. Okay, Bosman a 3. Right-handed batter. Bunker's pitch on a 6-4. Ground ball, third base X. Tough chance, but that's Robinson, 113. The play on a 3. Diving stop by Robinson at the line. Up and throwing just in time. It's a web gem by Brooks Robinson. Two away, and here's Don Blasingame now. The leadoff man singled in the first. Bunker into the windup. 2-5 righty, another comebacker. Bunker's got it. Takes a couple steps towards first and tosses it to Boog Powell to retire the side. So the Senators tie it up on a Camilli home run. After 3, it's 1-1. Okay, did not expect a pitching duel with this matchup. But that's what we've got through 3. Yes, sir, Ben, and Brooks Robinson starring as Brooks Robinson. And you make a great play and you lead off the inning. Here's Brooks Robinson. The pitch from Bosman, that's going to be a 6-6 right-handed grounder to ground ball A. That doesn't even tell me where it went to. Okay, we're going to call it a ground ball to short. 6-3, 1 down. What's the problem sometimes with these computer-only cards? Boog Powell, the batter. Here's the pitch from Bosman. That's going to be a 1-5 righty. Struck him out. Okay, this is getting crazier than Duckworth or the other guy whose name escapes me right now, but I know at least some of you know who I'm talking about. 2 down, here's Bluffery. Bosman winds and deals on a 2-8 right-handed. Grounder down to first. Valentine has it, feeds Bosman covering. And I'll be darned, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Dick Bosman. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-1. Senators, of course, not expecting much length from Bosman. For that matter, the Orioles not expecting much length from Bunker. Both pitchers rated S5 for starter endurance. And the Senators will have Valentine, King, and Locke here in the bottom of the 4th. Valentine batting left-handed. Bunker into the windup. On a 1-3 righty, fouls it back of the plate. Echeverrin tosses the mask aside and puts it away. Let me get a drink of water. I'm having issues today. Okay, a little better. Nice job, Frank. Here's Jim King now, struck out in the 1st. Bunker into the windup. 5-5 lefty, flies it to straightaway center. Snyder is patrolling and makes the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up the center fielder, Don Locke. Bunker getting his sign. 5-6 right-handed. He lifts it to center field. Snyder ranging to his left and hauls it in for a 1-2-3 inning for Bunker. So a very well-pitched 4th on both sides, and we go to the 5th, still a 1-1 pitcher's duel. I can't believe I'm using that saying in conjunction with Bosman and Bunker. Enjoying some of that amazing Coastal Peaks coffee. As we move to the 5th inning, it'll be the bottom 3rd of the Orioles order. Davey Johnson, who singled in the 2nd, will start things off. First endurance inning for both starting pitchers as Bosman comes set. The windup and the pitch is a 2-3 righty. Grounder down to first. Valentine has it. Goes to Bosman covering. And here's Andy Echeverrin. Echeverrin struck out in the 2nd. Bosman wants to get the sign. Here it is. 2-6 right-handed. He flies it to straightaway left. That's where Kirkland is playing. Kirkland moving over to his left and makes the catch. And here's Bunker. Bosman with a 5-6 right-handed grounder to third base, single to 5. That's going to be a base hit for Bunker. Wally Bunker trying to help himself out with a 2-out single. Reached on an error and scored his first time up. Boy, it's a rough day for Baltimore when Bunker has to provide the offense. Yeah, that I can empathize, Frank. At least twice in this replay, I've brought in a relief pitcher back out who'd been pinch hit for. And of course, for any newcomers, we did the best we could to rectify the situation. Runner at first, 2 down. Here's Aparicio. Bosman gets the sign. That's going to be a 6-8 right-handed. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Dick Bosman leading a charmed life here. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Bosman's already given the Senators more than they could have hoped for. And here's Wally Bunker once again. Kirkland, McCullen, and Camille do in the bottom of the inning. Bunker gets the sign from Echebarren. This is going to be a 5-4 left-handed fly ball center field X. That's a tough play for Schneider. Schneider a 3E6. He's on his horse. Here's the play on a 10. Error range. It's a 7 on a 6. He should have that, and he does run that one down in the gap. Excellent play by Schneider. It really is a fantastic team, Frank, and yet they do have everything. Not just the great starting pitching, but they've got just a sick and deep pen. They've got a bullpen that would be sick by today's standards, much less for the 60s. Here's Ken McMullen now as Bunker goes into the windup. That's a 1-4 right-handed. Hard ground ball to short. Aparicio gloves it. Fires to Powell, 2 down. Here's Doug Camille now. His home run, the only Senators run so far. Bunker comes in there with a 1-11. Foul ball back of the plate. That's going to be Echebarren. He makes the play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Bunker, who's now retired 9 straight. So both pitchers pretty much cruise through their first endurance inning, and we go to the 6th. Yeah, good point. They weren't one-inning guys. Game moving very quickly today. As we move to the 6th inning, it's going to be Snyder followed by the Robinsons. Get out the good wine. The Robinsons are coming over. Schneider 0 for 2. Bosman set. On a 2-7 righty, he loses in ball 4. And that means it's time to get somebody up in the Senators' pen. First man up for them today is going to be the starter, Mike McCormick. McCormick worked in this game in real life. I believe he's the only left-hander available in the pen today. No, they've got Dick Lines. I take it back. Schneider aboard, no threat to run. And the heart of the lineup coming up. Dick Bosman, despite the results, with this awful of a card, he's strictly batter by batter at this point. McCormick getting ready in a hurry. And here's the pitch to Frank on a 4-7. That's ripped into the left center gap. Double to 9. 13, that'll be a 2-star single with Schneider advancing to third. And that's going to bring Hodges out of the dugout and out to the mound. And he's going to the bullpen. That's really about as far as you can push a card like this. Five plus, honestly, we'd have been happy to get 5 out of Bosman. Especially in the postseason, don't you think, Frank? I mean, they really are aggressive. Just last night, for example, I'm yelling, "Don't take Kirby out." Then on comes the left-hander reliever, and he gives up a home run. Klein's definitely their save leader, Frank. +5 for Bosman. He gave up 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Just 1 run so far, and it was unearned. He walked 1 and struck out 4. The left-hander McCormick coming on. McCormick on the season, 5-6, 2.84. Actually, this is his 4th relief appearance. He's made 13 starts, having a marvelous season for Washington. Looking at Klein, he has 8 of the team's 13 saves. Robinson, not normally a threat to run. Let's check the battery. McCormick, a -1 hold. Camille, a 0. So Robinson not held at 12. With nobody out, they're going to keep it at double play depth for Brooks. The left-hander from the stretch. 6-4 right-handed. It's a grounder to short X. This could be 2. It's Brinkman, 229. Here's the play on an 11, error range, a 7 on a 29, and it's going to be the 2nd error of the game for Eddie Brinkman, and a run will score. Robinson stops at 2nd, Snyder crosses the plate, and the Orioles take a 2-1 lead. So Steady Eddie, not quite so steady today, and the hitter will be Boog Powell. Flaherty always talks to himself. He's an amusing cat. McCormick checks the runners. The pitch to Boog is a 2-7. Struck him out. That'll bring up the left fielder, Kurt Bleffery. 1st and 2nd, 1 away. The pitch from McCormick is a 5-7 left-handed. It's a grounder to second base. Blasingame gloves it, shovels it to Brinkman, steps on the bag for 1 to Valentine. 4-6-3 double play. So McCormick comes in and puts out the fire. The Orioles settle for 1 run, 1 hit, 2 left on. We've got to recreate that now. Walk, single. 1st and 3rd out in a double play. That's an unearned run, I believe. And we can close the book on Bosman. I'm not sure if you could assume the double play. I guess I'll find out when I enter the game manually. Even so, that would have been the 3rd out. So you had a walk, single, 1st and 3rd, out, strikeout, out. Yeah, that run is unearned. Thank you, Ben, for the clarification. So Bosman lowers his ERA. He came in at 1.74 with an absolutely putrid card. Wow. All right, that calls for another cup of coffee. I will be doing a game tomorrow with the Monday playoff schedule up in the air. Of course, we'll know after tonight. Here's Brinkman. I mean, I'm sitting here in hog heaven. I've got a team in each CS. Brinkman 0 for 1. Bunker into the windup. His second endurance inning. He comes in with a 3-10, and that's ripped deep into left center. That's going to roll to the wall. And he settles for a stand-up double. Brinkman had thoughts of going to third, but held at second. Oh, I should have double switched with McCormick. Darn it, blew it again. What is McCormick as a hitter? He's a 7 NL. Okay, well that's something. Let's see who's due up for Baltimore. Right pitcher. I think they're going to stick with McCormick, at least for a while. He's a left-handed hitter with N power. Bunker's pitch on a 3-10 struck him out. Here's Blasingame now. 1 for 2 on the day. Bunker checks the runner. Comes to the plate, 5'9" lefty. It's a grounder to short X. That's the Gold Glover Aparicio, 118. And on a 13, he makes it look easy, looks the runner back, and throws him out. Fine play by Aparicio, 2 down, and it will be up to Valentine. Valentine now 442 in his last 11 games, counting this one. Valentine mired in a deep slump. Bunker with the pitch. 4-9, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Valentine's struggles continue. Frank, and in this situation, Baltimore with a lot of good left-handed hitters, I just felt Washington needed more than an inning out of McCormick today. We'll see how it works out. Davey Johnson will start it off. McCormick with the windup and the pitch. It's a 3-7 left-handed routine grounder to short. Brinkman picks it up and throws to Valentine. Here's Andy Etchebarren 0 for 2. McCormick, the windup and the pitch. It's a 4-5 righty. He lifts it the other way to right. King drifting over, and he'll make the catch for the out. Now the question is what to do with Bunker. Not a good hitter. Bunker's only allowed 3 hits in a run. I'm going to leave him in. 6'11", right-handed. Fly to right field X. Tough chance for King. King, a good right fielder, 2E5. Here's the roll on the 9. E-range. It's a 12 on an E5, and that's going to be a 2-base error on King. So a rare error by King. And Bunker's been on all 3 times. Twice on an error. And singled in the 5th. That'll bring up Aparicio. For Jim King, that's his first error of the season. Runner in scoring position, 2 down. I tell you, Joel, I really liked Belanger too. I think I liked Ozzie a little bit better. But you may be right. Belanger, the Ozzie of his decade or generation, whatever. McCormick trying to get out of the inning, the error by King puts the runner in scoring position with 2 down. Here's the pitch to Aparicio on a 1-8. Flies it to center. That's going to be routine for Don Locke, and that'll wrap up the top of the 7th. Orioles leave a man, and as we stretch, Baltimore 2, Washington 1. No surprises where Mookie is concerned. I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to use the restroom. When I come back, we'll take a look at Mookie. All right, let's take a look. You know, it's funny, I was in the bathroom and thinking about when I first started streaming, I'd go to the bathroom and I'd splash water on my face and I'd talk to myself and say things like, "Get your head out of your ass, Steve, get in the game." And it's funny to reflect and realize I've gotten a lot more comfortable doing this. Maybe too comfortable, some would say. There's something to be said for a little nervous edge. Isn't there, Mookie? No, I'm going to hide my face. What's this here? That's part of your tail, isn't it? There he is. There he is. Ordonez was amazing too. They certainly do sleep a lot, don't they? I know when I was younger and I was playing in a band, whenever we'd play in front of people, I'd get that rush of nervous energy. And I think it made me play better, so that can be a good thing. I'm not sure if that really applies to sitting in a chair rolling dice. Whoops, okay, I bumped it. Let's see where we're at. That's pretty good. Alrighty. And Frank Robinson gave Joel the lowdown on Belanger. Well, Joel, please elaborate a little bit more. I think we'd all love to hear this. He tried to get on here today pre-game, too. I said, Mookie, you got to get off of here. Bottom of the 7th, third endurance inning for Bunker. Let's see, right, left, right. Starting to throw just in case in the Orioles' pen is righty Mo Drabowski. So Bunker at this point in the game on a short leash. Jim King will lead off the bottom of the 7th. He's 0 for 2 today. Bunker getting the sign, the windup and the pitch. It's a 6-7. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Let's add them up now for Bunker. 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts for Wally Bunker. And the batter is Don Locke. Locke 0 for 2. The pitch from Bunker. 1-7 right-handed. That's ripped into left center for a base hit. Double to 2, and Locke will hold with a long single. Bunker getting ready, Drabowski getting ready in a hurry now. Willie Kirkland, the batter. Bunker gets the sign from Echeverria, now working out of the stretch. The pitch to Kirkland on a 2-6, struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Bunker. And here's McMullen. Bunker winds and deals, 6-3 righty, grounder pitcher X. Bunker, good fielder, 3-0. Here's the result of that play. On a 14, it's the error range. The 7 on the 0. Bunker makes the play, and we go to the 8th. No runs, a hit, 1 left for Washington. Mike McCormick will come out for his 3rd inning of relief. That would be his 1st endurance inning. Schneider, Robinson, and Robinson due up. Schneider 0 for 2 with a walk. McCormick goes into the windup. On a 2-7 left-handed, he loses him ball 4. Leadoff walk to Russ Snyder. Frank Robinson steps to the plate. The righty Bob Humphreys throwing in the pen. Frank Robinson 2 for 3 in the ball game. McCormick working out of the stretch. On a 5-5 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. Huge strikeout for McCormick. Robinson on this card mashes lefties. And here's Brooks. McCormick from the stretch once again on a 4-8, swung on and missed, strike 3. So after a leadoff walk, McCormick strikes out Frank Robinson and Brooks Robinson, and now has a lefty-lefty matchup with the Boog, who struck out twice today. McCormick with the pitch. That's a 1-8 lefty. He struck him out. After a leadoff walk to Snyder, McCormick strikes out the side. And that will end his day. He emptied the tank in that inning. 3 fine innings of relief by McCormick. Baltimore. They're going to go to the pen. So Mo Drabowski will come on in the bottom of the 8th. He pitched this game in real life. And we're going to have a double switch. Pitcher will go in the 2 spot. And in the 9 spot, Paul Blair will come in and take over in center field. Let's get Blair in there. And in Snyder's spot will be the pitcher. That's the only change for Baltimore. Grabowski has been marvelous this season. This is his 18th appearance. He's 1-0, no saves, but a stingy 1.47 ERA in 30 2/3 innings. I would say Bonham, Frank. I love them both. Bottom of the 8th, Washington trails by a run. They'll send up Camille, Brinkman, and a pinch hitter. Grabowski gets the sign. 6-7 left-handed, grounder to first base, right-handed. 6-7 right-handed is swung on and missed, strike 3. Camille, his home run was the only run for Washington so far. 1 out, here's Brinkman. Grabowski's pitch on a 4-4, fly to center field X. That's where Blair has just been inserted for defense with a 2E5. Blair on his horse on a 9, error range, 8 on an E5. A fine running catch by Paul Blair. Shades of things to come. And now let's see who the batter's going to be. McCormick worked 3, did not allow a hit. He walked 1 and struck out 4. Magnificent performance from McCormick. Humphreys will be the next pitcher. And looking for that all-or-nothing shot, there's really only one guy to turn to, isn't there? Frank Howard grabs the bat and slowly makes his way to the plate. Howard, the leading hitter on the team at .302. He only has 4 home runs, 25 RBIs. Grabowski studying the signs. Here's the windup. The pitch to Big Frank on a 5-8. Lifts it the other way to right. Backing up a bit is Frank Robinson, and that will do it. 1, 2, 3 go the Senators in the 8th. And we go to the 9th. Orioles 2, Senators 1. Bob Humphreys will take over on the mound for Washington. I want to thank everybody for being here on a Saturday that feels like a Sunday. It really does. Humphreys on the season has been the best pitcher for Washington. No record, 2 saves, 1.55 in 41 innings of work. Magnificent season for Humphreys so far. And he'll be looking at Kurt Blefary, Davey Johnson, and Andy Etchebarren. Hey there, Al. I didn't see you come in. How you doing? Surprised no Franklin Long on a Baltimore Orioles game. Unless he's lurking in the shadows. up to 517 subscribers now. I want to thank everyone for that. Just amazing, more than I could have ever hoped for. Okay, ninth inning. Bleffery, 0 for 3. The pitch to Humphreys, 5-4. Pitch from Humphreys, 5-4 lefty. He loses in ball 4. A leadoff walk to Bleffery. 1 through 11. Does Baltimore have another outfielder? They do. Sam Bowens is going to run for Bleffery. He'll take over in left field. (2E14 -1). It's debatable whether a 2E14, it's probably a little better than a 4E7. Not as much as you might think. A leadoff walk. Bowens replaces Bleffery as a pinch runner, and here's Davy Johnson. Humphreys working out of the stretch as he fouls one back. Humphreys rubs up a new ball, and here's the pitch to Johnson. It's a 3-12, and he loses in ball 4. So Humphreys comes in and has trouble finding the plate. He's walked the first 2 hitters. And that'll bring up Echebarren. Stepping into the on-deck circle, Bob Johnson. The pitch from Humphreys, 3-6 righty. Grounder to second. Blasingham's only play is to first, and both runners will move up. And Baltimore looking for some insurance in the top of the 9th. Stu Miller throwing in the pin. Wait a minute. Nope. Johnson is not on deck. I beg your pardon. Paul Blair in the 9th spot now will be the hitter. Washington pulls the infield in for Blair. Humphreys' pitch to Paul Blair is a 6-7 grounder second base X. Tough chance for Blasingame. 4E14. On a 7, he's got it, and with the infield in, that saves a run. It'll be up to Aparicio with 2 away. On deck is the pitcher's spot. And now Bob Johnson standing in the on-deck circle. It could be a bluff. Humphreys pitch to Aparicio, 4-3 right-handed grounder to first base X. This looks like trouble. It's Valentine, 5E30. On an 8, error range, 11. And that's going to be an error, and a run will score. Third Senators error of the game. That scores Bowens. Johnson to third. I feel kind of badly. I probably should have moved Valentine to the outfield. Certainly would have if they were leading. And with the insurance run, let's see who's coming up. A lot of left-handers coming up. They're going to hit. Stu Miller continues to get loose. And Bob Johnson will indeed be the hitter. Johnson batting just .205 in 39 at-bats, does not have a home run. Humphreys gets the sign. The pitch on a 1-5 struck him out. Orioles settle for 1 run without the aid of a hit. There were 2 walks and an error. So that's an unearned run charge to Humphreys. All 3 of the Orioles' runs today unearned. So some shoddy Washington fielding has aided the Orioles' cause. And in comes Stu. My cousin Stu celebrating his 43rd birthday today. Stu Miller. Save opportunity for Miller. He has 13. Top of the lineup for Washington. 3-1 Orioles, bottom of the 9th. Here's Don Blasingame. 1 for 3 today. Miller gets his sign on a 5-5 lefty, fly to center field. Routine for Blair. And there's 1 away. That'll bring up Fred Valentine, trying desperately to break out of his slump. The pitch from Miller on a 5-9. He lifts it the other way to left. Settling under that one is Bowens. And the Senators down to their last out. It'll be Jim King. King 0 for 3, struck out twice. Miller taking his time now, shakes one off, now nodding. The windup on the pitch to King on a 2-5, base hit into right field. And the Senators are still alive. Don Locke representing the tying run at the plate. Miller working from the stretch on a 6-8. Pops him up, that's going to do it. Aparicio will take it, and that's the ball game. 3-1 Orioles. I'll have the totals in a moment. A day of errors for Washington. That's interesting, Frank. So Miller had 18. Fisher had 19. I'm going to look at those cards. That's an interesting point. Didn't Fisher have a couple of those for the White Sox, though? In my game, he had 5 saves for Chicago. So he's a 23-24. Not much extra base hit. Miller's an 18-14. No, I dispute that. Miller has the better card. The Senators now have dropped 7 in a row, and they are sinking fast. Humphreys, in his inning of work, gave up no hits and an unearned run. Walked a pair, he struck out 1. Bunker in 7 innings, 1, 2, 3, only 4 hits and a run. The home run to Camille was the only Senators run. Bunker did not walk anybody. That's rare for him. Struck out 6. Let's count that again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grabowski a 1-2-3 inning with a K. Miller gave up a hit. No runs, no walks, no strikeouts. So Bunker does get the win. He's 4-3 now. Miller picks up his 14th save of the season. Bosman, the tough luck loser, his record evens at 1-1. Well, I have the advantage of Frank of looking at the bar graph on the computer game. Orioles win it with 3 runs on just 5 hits, no errors. For Washington, errors were the story. 1 run, 5 hits, 3 errors, 3 unearned runs for the Orioles, and they win it 3-1. Let's see if anybody's got any player of the game ideas. Of course, not a single RBI on the Orioles. Robinson 2 hits. Looked to me like Wally Bunker is the player of the game. Oh, Frank mentioned Bunker. Al says Bunker. That's good enough. Yeah, it's got to be Bunker. There's no offensive standout, really. Bunker, 7 innings, 4 hits and a run, no walk, 6 Ks, and he's your player of the game. So a very well-pitched game by Bunker, who, remember, came into this game with awful numbers. He came into this game with a 6.35 ERA. There will be a game tomorrow before I get out of here for lunch. We're going to move on to June 16th on the calendar, and we're going to start off with the Mets at the Braves. Rob Gardner for the Mets. Tony Cloninger will take the mound for Atlanta. That'll be 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. Join me tomorrow. Enjoy the playoffs tonight. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a fantastic evening. Bye for now, everybody. Thanks again.